JJ3K here, and I'm gonna start yet another music project. I released like a few videos recently that kind of teased towards something I was gonna release October 25th of this year, but it's something that like I'm just not ready to finish yet. I'm gonna throw it on the back burner. Uh, it's I hit a roadblock with it. Um, that being said, today I found myself, just driving to the store, running errands, and or whatever, and I had a playlist on that was kind of like late '90s alternative stuff, like like Eve Six or gosh. The band that made the song Santa Monica, Everclear. Sorry, it was escaping me. And I remember, when the songs came out, thinking that they weren't too complicated, and then 25 plus years later, after messing around with music, as a hobby, just through repetition, you just become more familiar with things. I'm not saying I'm like good or even like trained. It's just, once again, even if you uh, produce a lot of crappy songs, or um, songs made by somebody that doesn't have like any real skill, um, they just progressively get better. There's that old idiom about, I guess, something about a million chimpanzees on typewriters. Will eventually create Romeo and Juliet, or something like that. But once again, through repetition, through doing something many times, you're just bound to get better. Um, anyway, that being said, I was listening to the aforementioned song Santa Monica by Everclear, and you know, I started thinking, I think I could do that. I think I could make a song like that. I'm not taken away from anything that Everclear has done. They've made like a lot of great songs. Like Father of Mine. I mean, I remember buying their CD and a couple of their CDs in the late '90s. I've seen them live back then. Great band. The only, I guess what I'm trying to say is, they're not, you know, um, savant level musicians. Once again, no disrespect intended. Um, I do know it is hard to compose music. You know, um, I've composed many terrible songs that will never live up to the quality of their songs. Once again, long story short, I think I'm capable of making rock songs, or alternative songs, or late '90s songs, or whatever. Um, so that's what I'm decided I'm gonna work on now. Over the years, I've literally made probably hundreds of songs. Instrumentals, mostly. I do have some early recordings that were like guitar and bass, but never like any songs with lyrics. Um, the past few years I have been dabbling in songs with lyrics. I I've even created two fictional bands, and made complete um, albums for both. I also made another, those two bands being one was called Anime Hair, and the other one was called Random Objects. Um, I also made another um, album as JJ3K that I sat and got pressed to vinyl. So once again, I'm not saying these are great or even good, but I did that. I created these things. Um, so now I feel that I'm ready to, most of those songs were electronic, you know, attempts at similar to rap style songs, but nothing with any real singing. I mean, I had a few songs that had like hooks that I put through auto tune, but not actual um, uh, singing oriented songs, or stringed instrument oriented songs. A lot of the songs I made, I did use, my Squire jazz bass, but nothing really with guitar. So after that long story aside, I'm going to use my Telecaster style guitar that I made. There's videos on this channel of me making it. And then in a later video, I'll get into like what tones I'm going to use. I think I'm going to record straight into FL Studio through my Behringer audio interface, and then probably add effects through that. So just kind of record clean, not through a microphone, but through a audio interface. I think I'm gonna do the same thing with uh, uh, the Fender Squire Jazz Precision bass. On my channel, there are like reviews of both of these instruments as well. Also, the Behringer Euphoria audio interface. And then the drums, of course, are going to be through, I think it's called the FPC plugin in FL Studio, and either programmed or played on the M Audio Oxygen Pro 49 drum pad machines, or drum pads, or once again, or programs, maybe a combination of both. And then later on, as with the guitar and also the bass, like tones, I'm going to use whatever plugins to achieve these tones. Also, probably going to be using the same microphone setup that I've always used, which is an unnamed microphone I got from a friend of mine that came from a church, through I have auto-tune effects and some other plugins. I'll figure that out. And then also the FPC drum tones. Definitely something live, not like an 808, a 707, or a Lindrum machine, anything like that. But maybe like a Ludwig or a Pearl, some kind of live drums voices. But that's what I'm going to be working on now. So, like, rock on.